After more than 40 years in Utah, Sundance is saying goodbye.
Sundance is a festival of global discovery, and with Boulder's appeal and ease of access, we can grow it together even further.
Obviously, we're disappointed, but not surprised.
We have worked on this for a year. I was really proud of the bid that Utah submitted.
The decisions that were made to push Utah out of the running for future Sundance, I think that the people who made those decisions are really going to regret that in a couple years when they realize just how much Sundance did for the community.
Hear from people in the film industry here in Utah about what this means about the future of film in the state.
Live from Utah's news leader, Fox 13 News at 9 starts right now.
And we are glad you're with us. I'm Max Roth in for Bob Evans. After 4 decades of showcasing many soon-to-be classic films in Park City and throughout the Wasatch Front, the Sundance Film Festival will be leaving our state to go to Boulder, Colorado in 2027. So let's break down this big story for you right now. For the past year, leaders at the state level in Salt Lake City and in Park City have been working with the Sundance Film Festival, trying to convince them to stay in Utah. Stakeholders we spoke with say they're not surprised by this announcement.
The last few years with Sundance, there's been less footprint in Salt Lake. There's been less leadership living in Utah.
Board is different, obviously not as wed to Utah as they were. But I do think economically one of the biggest reasons they are leaving is because of how expensive it is to put on the festival.
So you heard from former Park City Mayor Dana Williams there. We also spoke with current Park City Mayor Nan Worrell this evening. She says there was not anything else her city could have done to keep the film festival.
Personally, I'm very, very disappointed because I think because we grew up together, we're part of the iconic festival. You know, we helped create who Sundance is today. And so we will miss that. The arts are extremely important to our community, and so we will continue to focus on arts.
Park City is resilient. We're a world-renowned destination. People want to visit Park City. We have so much to offer in both the winter and the summer season. And we've weathered a lot over the years, over 40 years. And, you know, Sundance really changed during COVID and post-COVID.
The film festival will take over Park City's Main Street one more time next January. We also caught up with Utah Governor Spencer Cox to get his reaction to this news. He believes festival organizers made up their minds a long time ago, and he thinks this was not a political move.
There was no question that they were leaving. I felt as soon as the RFP came out that they were leaving. So I wasn't surprised at all, but I'm actually excited. I mean, this is a huge opportunity for the state. We are going to do a film festival that's even bigger, and it's going to be incredible. So we're really, really excited about that.
So the governor says he has already been working on a new film festival in Utah, and he wants to team up with the likes of Ryan Smith to make that happen. Big names, but not in filmmaking circles. So Fox 13 News reporter Julia Sandor set out to ask Utah's filmmaking community what they think.
Utah is known for a number of different things, and one of those things that typically sticks out is the Sundance Film Festival. But now that it's leaving, what does that mean for people who are wanting to get up on the big screen? Well, from Park City to Salt Lake City and beyond, it has people wondering what this could mean for the future of film in the state.
As a local filmmaker, you're sad to see such a big cultural event leave the state, and it just feels like a bit of a loss for everyone involved.
Just 2 years ago, Rollins Wimber says the short film he produced hit the Sundance screens, an accomplishment for any independent filmmaker.
Being so close to Sundance, the festival kind of feels like a moonshot, a dream for every film student. Everyone wants to get into the festival. It feels like a way to sort of break into a really competitive industry.
Although many people in the industry are sad to see Sundance go, they're looking at it from a different perspective.
For me, the initial reaction was how can our community still step up? How can our community still come together to service the need of independent film in this state.
While Michelle and Marshall Moore reminisce on all the memories they have from the festival, like their first date, they're also thinking about the new opportunities that this could award other festivals in the state.
Well, we certainly appreciate the legacy that Sundance ultimately will leave behind here. But what that has done is they've kind of raised the bar through the years for independent film, raising that need for festivals, for platforms to show films that otherwise nobody would ever see.
They say Utah will continue to be a hotspot for filmmakers, actors, and anyone in the industry. So while they close the door on one chapter, they're excited to see what's next.
Fortunately, every change that feels like a loss is also an opportunity for new beginnings.
Julia Sandor, Fox 13 News, Utah.
I spent the afternoon on Park City's Main Street talking with residents, visitors, and business people about the news.
Sundance isn't for everyone.
What was your reaction when you heard that Sundance was leaving Park City?
I honestly had no idea what Sundance was.
But for 44 years, it grew into a prestigious international event in our backyard.
It's been going on since 1981. It really just lights up the whole town.
And it created a buzz that permeated Utah's charming ski town.
Do you come out and do some stargazing?
I do. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I saw a couple stars at the Towel Party 2 years ago, and it's just fun. Meredith Marks from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. J-Lo.
It opened the door for visitors year-round to ask Scott at Sock City about celebrity sightings.
Did sell a pair of Bulldog socks to Zoe Kravitz.
For a family member.
Look at that. Someone has a bulldog.
Nope.
That's what Zoe bought.
And it brought eyes from around the world to see artists at the Meyer Gallery.
Because the city, Park City, has really grown up around Sundance as well, it's been a very symbiotic relationship between the two.
In some cases, Sundance injected a mystique that drew people to spend money.
It's kind of like something that became the reason, it became such a big pull. Yeah, for all my friends. They've definitely changed their ski holidays and family holidays around the Sundance.
Utah policymakers may disagree, but some Park City residents tell us that Utah's politics pushed the festival away.
It's making it incredibly unwelcoming.
Well, for most talking with us, Park City remains that same charming ski town with a strong, if slightly less showy, future. Well, the history of Sundance comes directly from the beauty of the state of Utah and the passion of Robert Redford to inspire filmmakers. Fox 13 News reporter Spencer Joseph takes an in-depth look.
This all started with Redford, the prolific actor and filmmaker. In 1969, he purchased Sundance, Utah in Provo Canyon, naming it after his role in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which was shot here in Utah, being captivated by the area's beauty for many, many years. Now, 11 years later, Redford founded the Sundance Institute that will be remaining in Utah, unlike the festival. Now, that institute helps independent filmmakers hone the craft of filmmaking at his Sundance property in 1980. Now, being founded the year prior in August of 1984 to showcase the work at the institute and other indie filmmakers, the very first Sundance Film Festival was held in 1985 for 10 days in Park City, Utah. And over the past 4 decades since then, films like Reservoir Dogs, American Psycho, The Blair Witch Project, Little Miss Sunshine, and my personal favorite, Napoleon Dynamite, got their start at Sundance, going on to huge success, and many, many, many more films were a part of that. In 2025, this most recent Sundance Film Festival, it hit a record, an all-time record of 15,775 submissions, and has grown to encompass not only Park City, but Salt Lake City as well. Now, one man knows all about this since he wrote the book on film in Utah. His name is James Dark. He's the film historian that I spoke to today, and he's very upset to see Sundance go, and with it, a decades-long legacy.
Utah has just lost a nearly 50-year history as an incubator of not commercial films, but the art of film itself. The Sundance Film Festival is uniquely Utah. It was born in Utah in the mind of Robert Redford. He had talked about it for decades. this is a time for, I think, statewide mourning. Now it's not the Sundance Utah Film Festival anymore. It's the Sundance Colorado. That's a bad fit.
Well, take a look at this footage. This was a few years ago before the 40th anniversary. I was actually able to get a look at the Sundance Film Festival archives, where they've saved a lot of the early parts of the festival, showcasing independent films. And just taking a look back through all of this footage today, everything was branded Park City, Utah on it, showcasing its home for nearly 4 decades. And as James just said, that future now belongs to Colorado. One thing he did want to emphasize as well, Sundance Film Festival would not exist without Utah and its incredible beauty. So a lot of people in the film industry unhappy today at the announcement. Spencer Joseph, Fox 13 News, Utah.
So we are going to stay on top of this story. You can stick with us on air and online at fox13now.com. Moving on to Utah's weather. Now, Maddie, this has been quite a week with a lot of high temperatures. I was up in Park City. It was nice there. The weekend's coming. Is it going to stay like this?
Unfortunately, Max, today was our last go at it.
Yeah.
Park City actually saw 66 out there this afternoon, so it was very warm. Here in the city, we did not break that record, but we were pretty close. The record was set at 79 back in 2022. Airport clocked in 78 at around 1:30 this afternoon. Now, this was sent in to us by Fatima. Fatima, thank you so much. Absolutely gorgeous photo. We're going to get a lot more of those cherry blossoms over the next couple of weeks. Temperatures today, upper 70s for those highs. We're going to be back down to the upper 50s, low 60s tomorrow, and that's all because of a storm system rolling on in. Still rather windy, not nearly as gusty as a few hours ago, but very breezy out there, clocking in 22 there for Cedar City. Still picking up some light showers, not really picking up much in the way of precipitation. Some areas about 1/100 of an inch, saw that there for Syracuse. Hour by hour dipping down to the 40s and early tomorrow morning. Daytime highs upper 50s, low 60s. So we're going to take a closer look at that system, plus what's on the way for the weekend ahead coming up.
Utah has more child care deserts than any state in the country. We'll tell you how families are making it work when they have to work.
We're just hours away from the deadline for Governor Spencer Cox to sign some bills into law or to veto them. I'll show you what we're keeping a close eye on.
You're watching Fox 13 News, part of the Scripps News Group.
So the clock is ticking for Governor Cox. He has a midnight deadline to make a decision on the remaining bills he has yet to sign or veto from this past legislative session. Fox 13 News reporter Maithili Gubi joins us live on Utah's Capitol Hill. Maithili, it seems like the governor has decided to keep us in suspense.
You're right, Max. It's coming down to the wire. Now we just have hours left before Utah Governor Spencer Cox has this deadline to either sign or veto bills from this past legislative session. Now we're mainly keeping a close eye on 2 bills tonight. One of them bans pride flags in classrooms and public buildings, and the other bans fluoride in public water systems. Now let's start with the flag bill. Under House Bill 77, only sanctioned flags like the United States flag, Utah flag, municipal flags, and others can be displayed at schools and government buildings. This means that pride flags won't be allowed, so various LGBTQ+ groups and people have voiced strong opposition. Even Salt Lake City raised a pride flag on the last night of the session to make their feelings on the bill clear. Moving to the fluoride bill, Utah could be the first state in the country to not add fluoride to public water systems and would not let cities and municipalities decide if fluoride can be added or not. Local dentists that we've spoken to say this could lead to dental decay and are worried about the impact it could have. Supporters of the bill are people who support medical freedom and groups like Utah Parents United who support this measure. And if Governor Cox doesn't sign or veto any of these bills by midnight, they automatically go under effect under Utah statute. But we'll keep a close eye on them and bring you developments as soon as we get them. Live on Utah's Capitol Hill, I am Maithili Gubi, Fox 13 News, Utah.
All right, Maithili, thank you so much. A judge has refused to reject a lawsuit against the state of Utah. The lawsuit is accusing political leaders of not doing enough to save the Great Salt Lake. A judge ruled that a coalition of environmental groups can proceed with their lawsuit, denying the state's request to dismiss the litigation. But the judge rejected the environmentalists' request to block upstream water diversions. Environmentalists suing the state tell Fox 13 News it is a victory and gives the lake a chance at survival. More groups are jumping into a citizen referendum over a bill banning public employee unions from collective bargaining. Fox 13 News has told the Fraternal Order of Police and the Professional Firefighters of Utah will join the referendum campaign. Both are big unions representing first responders. A coalition led by the Utah Education Association is actively gathering signatures across the state to overturn a law passed by the legislature on collective bargaining. Okay, we have a big weekend coming up. I think people have been making plans kind of based on how they've been feeling the way this week began, Maddie, but things are changing?
I know, we're all too familiar with these temperature roller coasters, and we saw a big swing. So we saw the warmest air of the year, made it to the upper 70s for most of northern Utah, but that's all going to change. Winds still gusting. We're picking up strong gusty winds across western Utah, anywhere from about 30 to 40 miles per hour. Some clocked in wind gusts over 50 miles per hour a little bit earlier on this afternoon. They are going to die down, but pick back up again, especially for eastern Utah. You're going to see wind gusts anywhere from about 45 to 50 miles per hour. Now, this photo was sent in to us by Chris over at Little Dell Reservoir. I have not been there yet. We'll put that on the list. Absolutely gorgeous afternoon. Here's what we got going on over the next couple of days. Those winds are going to be gusty. Clouds are going to hang low, mostly cloudy for much of your weekend. It's not going to be a good looking one, but things are looking better than they were as far as rainfall amounts. Like Saturday, that's where we're going to be dealing with on and off showers. Tomorrow, not looking too bad. Sunday, improving. And then into early next week, we will be getting another series of some systems. Those temps are going to be back down to the upper 50s, low 60s, upper 60s, low 70s for southern Utah. So here's the system. Here's that low off the Pacific Northwest, sprouting along. A lot of showers, picking up some snow across the highest elevations. Right now, just seeing a few light sprinkles. Those are going to continue throughout the rest of your evening, eventually tapering off early tomorrow morning. Your early morning commute just fine. Midday, that's where we are going to start to get another round of some showers. Drive home might be a little bit messy, but across the valleys throughout Davis, we're talking Utah, Salt Lake, picking up a bit of some light rain, and then we'll get more of that rain for Saturday. So this is into early Saturday morning. Not much. Logan on the highest amount, picking up about 1/4 of an inch. And then we're going to see those stronger showers arrive for Saturday. Now, as far as our rainfall totals, this is closer to what I was talking about earlier. We had rainfall totals that were close to about an inch. I put it around 1/4 to up to that 1/2 inch mark. So I'm thinking that's where we're going to be. We definitely do need that rain. We are still on that D3 level for portions of Iron and Washington. Temperatures are going to be in the upper 60s, low 70s Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Little bit of a warm up there, but then we're back down to right around average, upper 60s, low 70s. And then for northern Utah, we're going to see that same temperature trend, just a little bit cooler. So for your weekend, we're going to see those widespread showers Saturday, brief break, mostly cloudy. So that's going to be your day to get outside, even though the models are showing that we could get a pop-up shower midday Sunday. Nothing to cancel your plans over there. Monday, another weather maker. That's going to roll on in, and that's going to dip us back down to the upper 40s, low 50s through mid next week.
Well, new at 9, local car dealerships are reacting to President Trump's executive order of a 25% tariff on all auto imports, including car parts. We spoke with the general manager of Mark Miller Subaru in Sandy about this. He says while you'll really see the price jump on cars made outside the U.S., you will still see it on cars made in the U.S. because they're made with parts from other countries.
Based on everything that we're seeing, pricing might not go up the full 25%, but I would say most likely it is going to increase. It's not something that we're really excited about. The automotive industry is kind of, we're all kind of, whoa, this is very interesting and we're not real sure about it. But we definitely want to make sure that we are informing our customers so that they're aware just as we are.
And he went on to say used car inventory in the past 24 hours has skyrocketed and auctions are going wild right now because of the uncertain future of car prices. He says in the immediate future, car prices are the same, but you'll really start to see price hikes after April 2nd or April 3rd. Well, today, Utahns came together to celebrate the opening of a new Tabitha's Way food pantry in Spanish Fork. Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson was at the ribbon cutting. Organizers say this facility will help serve more than 41,000 households every year.
This is huge for us. We are so grateful for this new facility. Our organization has been serving about 500 families every single week, and so this big, larger space is going to be just so we're not like sardines anymore, and giving us the capacity to serve people in our community. So we're very excited and blessed.
And with this new facility, they increased capacity by 76% and now are asking for more donations and volunteers so they can help with food insecurity across the state.
With our childcare, we just don't have that access.
A small Utah county wants to grow economically, but officials say that's difficult when young families can't work. Wayne County, home to Capitol Reef National Park, is known for its stunning desert landscapes. But the county is also home to a different kind of desert, which you might not have heard of. A childcare desert.
Everybody is just literally making do with what they can.
With 77% of the state's population living in an area where there are too few daycare providers to meet the need, Utah has more of these so-called childcare deserts than anywhere else in the country. But Wayne County is particularly affected. It's one of 4 counties in the state that has no licensed childcare options at all,
It is a big problem here.
leaving desperate young parents with few options.
I go to bed at night and like, where's my kid going tomorrow? Who's gonna call out sick? Who's gonna have their child sick?
I'm Fox 13 investigative reporter Taylor Stevens. We traveled here to Wayne County to better understand how young families are making it work when they have to work, and what it all means for the future of this county and the people who live here.
And we have 4 kids.
That's cute. Lauren Morgan's workplace seems to have been designed with kids in mind.
Is this full of toys? This is full of toys, huh?
Oh, wow.
Yep.
A toy box filled to the brim.
Can you get down that?
A baby gate blocking the stairs. Cartoons playing on TV.
Then we got cribs.
Ready in the corner.
Peekaboo.
If you assumed she works at a daycare, well, you wouldn't be too far off.
We do joke that yes, it is a full-time daycare with a part-time job.
But Morgan's real full-time job doesn't have anything to do with kids. She's the office manager here at Blackburn Propane in Loa.
We do residential and commercial propane. So, okay, hold on. There you go. Are you okay? Okay. There you go. So we take a lot of payments. We take propane orders over the phone. Do a lot of customer service.
Because Wayne County has no licensed childcare options, Morgan has few choices about how to work full-time and raise her children. So her father, who owns Blackburn Propane, allows her to bring the kids to work.
It's hard, but we make do. Some days are really long, and other days we just don't get much work done. Yeah. But, yes, thank you. Ow! Are you okay? Okay. But as you can see, it takes a lot of patience.
During the school year, her older 2 children are in school most of the day. But in the summers, all 4 of them come here. Morgan says she feels lucky to have the option, but it's not exactly the situation she'd pick if she had any other choice.
You're raising your kids and being in a business where it is a professional setting, it is really hard because kids don't understand that, and they don't understand when is the time to be quiet, when is the time to not color? When is it not nap time?
With our childcare, we just don't have that access.
Wayne County Commissioner Roger Bryan says he's heard plenty of stories about the impacts on individual families, but he also sees the effects of childcare access on a broader scale, particularly on the area's economy.
It's pretty tough for us to get people to invest and bring businesses here as it is.
The U.S. Chamber of Commerce found in 2023 that Utah loses $1.36 billion annually related to childcare challenges.
It ranks pretty high. It's a very high thing. And in order to get businesses and people to come in here.
So I actually had to resign beginning of this year because I just couldn't find the time to be able to work.
After her son Kirby was born, Loa resident Michaela Barton tried to hold on to her job as a part-time EMT.
My position's very needed. I'm an advanced EMT.
But the on-call schedule made it too difficult to find childcare.
I've had to have my mom come down from Bountiful to watch my kids sometimes because I can't call out and someone was sick.
So she decided to quit in favor of keeping her more consistent job as a part-time dental assistant. But if she had more options, she'd love to be back on an ambulance.
It's very fulfilling because what we do is we help serve underserved communities, you know. No one's knocking down the door to be an EMT in the middle of nowhere.
The lack of childcare hasn't just affected her employment decisions. It's also delayed her and her husband from having more children.
But at this point, we have to do the smart thing to say no. If I had known this was kind of as serious as what I know now, we probably wouldn't have had my son when we did. We probably would have waited.
The state legislature recently considered a bill that sought to improve access to child care in Utah as part of a pilot program that would turn empty state office buildings into daycare space. That bill ultimately failed in the House, in part over concerns about costs. Tomorrow on Fox 13 News at 9, we'll tell you how residents in Wayne County are stepping up to provide daycare access for young families. At the state capitol, Taylor Stevens, Fox 13 News, Utah.
We want to let you know about a traffic situation, and it is in a bottleneck area, Ogden Canyon. Right now, traffic is closed in both directions. It's State Route 39, and that is the road through Ogden Canyon. And if you know it, you know there's just one lane in each direction and no alternative right there. You'd have to go around over Trapper's Loop. But there has been a head-on crash there. Utah Highway Patrol says 2 people were taken to a hospital. The roadway is expected to clear up by 10 o'clock. The Utah County Sheriff's Office has released a statement on the dismissal of sexual abuse charges with prejudice against former therapist David Hamblin last week. It describes Judge Roger Griffin's actions as, quote, abhorrent, making decisions that led to a lack of due process, they said. It goes on to say that neither investigators nor the victim were given the opportunity to present any evidence to the court to refute the allegations of evidence being withheld, adding that, quote, the victim could have provided critical context to resolve the issues raised by the defense. Judge Griffin dismissed 6 felony charges against Hamblin due to discovery issues after he learned police and prosecutors withheld key evidence that could have helped Hamblin's defense. The Utah County Sheriff's Office denies wrongdoing. It is the second time Hamblin was criminally charged with sexual assault, both cases dismissed. Hamblin still has 1 pending case in Sanpete County. The Utah County Sheriff's Office is declining all interviews at this time. A spokesperson for the Utah Attorney General's office said, quote, it is inappropriate for our office to comment because there's currently a pending case in Sanpete County. The prosecutors acted appropriately and ethically in their efforts given the information available to them. Moving on, Washington City Police have located the 2 people of interest in a deadly stabbing at a vacation rental there. They found the 2 teenagers in Los Angeles County around 9 last night. Both are in good health and physically unharmed. Police are working with the local jurisdiction in LA County to further the homicide investigation. A Murray police officer is now on administrative leave after he shot a man in the hand this afternoon. It happened just after noon at the Fire Clay apartment complex near State Street and 4500 South. Police were called to help remove someone being evicted who was barricading himself in his bedroom. Police say the suspect was shot after he tried to light his room and officers on fire using an aerosol spray and a lighter. The apartment complex was briefly evacuated. The suspect was taken to the hospital for minor injuries after he surrendered. The newest graduates of Salt Lake City's Police Academy are officially on the job. We're going to take you to their graduation ceremony. And we get a closer look at a new reservoir under construction in southern Utah, how it will make a difference for the people in that part of the state. After nearly 6 months of training, a dozen Police Academy recruits participated in a graduation ceremony today at the Utah State Fair Park. They are now officially Salt Lake City police officers, and those boots on the ground are needed, we're told. New Police Chief Brian Redd, in his third week on the job, says for the police force to be at full strength, they need about 650 officers. They're looking to hire at least another 40 to reach that mark.
It makes a difference for the officers here in the department when we're full strength. They can get their time off, their vacation. It puts more officers on the street for the community.
If you would like information about the requirements to become a Salt Lake City police officer, you can go to saltlakecity.gov, where you can also find an application. Work has been underway on a new reservoir near Tokerville that will be part of a water reuse system for Washington County. Fox 13 got a look at the construction site.
We're on site with the future Chief Toker Reservoir. The dam will be about 125 feet tall. It'll store around 3,500 acre feet of water, and we'll be able to put runoff from our nearby mountains in here, and also we'll be able to store excess reuse water here during the winter months to be able to use for outdoor irrigation during the summer months.
And you may have wondered what you heard there in terms of the name of the reservoir. It's called the Chief Toker Reservoir. I didn't know Tokerville came from that. Anyway, construction of the Graveyard Wash Reservoir is underway west of Santa Clara as well. Two others, one in Ivins and another in Warner Valley, south of Washington City, would be added as needed. It will all be connected by 60 miles of pipeline. The system will take the water that goes down the drain in sinks, showers, and gutters and keep it. Advanced purification systems will make some of it pure to drink again, but most of it will be used for irrigation.
Look at these temperatures, still sitting in the 60s and 70s. It's not going to be that warm tomorrow. We're well on our way to a cool down. We're going to talk about those dipping temps, plus what's on the way for the weekend ahead.
And later in sports, hear from Kevin Young following BYU's first Sweet 16 effort in 14 years. Plus, the Jazz and Hockey Club both in play tonight, all as Utah Gymnastics gets ready to resume their latest national championship run. Back in a bit.
All right, we're back, and Maddie and I have been having a fun conversation. We can play the opposite game. So if I say urban, what would be the opposite?
Don't do that to me. I told him that I could not say roar.
Rural.
Can't say it. It's just a roar.
I told all our viewers that it's the worst word to say, especially on air. It means a great thing, but rural is hard to say.
Can't say it now, won't say it then.
Okay, but it's a nice rural picture behind you.
Yes, absolutely gorgeous. This photo was sent in to us by Chad. We got this a little bit earlier this morning of his horses sunrise in West Jordan. Absolutely stunning. Not so stunning, the weather over the next 72 hours. We're going to be dealing with some on and off showers. Now, if you did want to get outside and get that car wash later rather than earlier tomorrow, as we are expecting to see a few light sprinkles in the morning. Saturday, no go there. And then Sunday, we are going to be also dealing with a slight chance for a midday pop-up. So overall, I would just hold off on that car wash if you can. So cooler air from the Pacific Northwest already starting to set in, but it is still very mild there for much across northern, central, southern Utah. Still seeing those temperatures in the 60s, 70s, 50s for some. but we are also picking up a few of those light to moderate pockets moving throughout portions of Tooele. We're seeing that throughout central Box Elder as well, a little bit there across portions of eastern Utah. Non-threatening as far as these showers, just some passing pockets, and it's all stemming from this very nice low that formed a couple of days ago. It is moving closer to the coast, really impacting much of the Pacific Northwest now. Higher elevations, that's where we're talking primarily snowfall from this system. This one is going to be primarily weak for us, but we are going to get another round come Saturday. That's what's really going to impact our area. We are going to get some mountain accumulation, not talking much as of now, but that could definitely change. Models have decreased from a couple of hours ago as far as snow totals. Sunday looking pretty good in the morning, but then there is a chance for a passing shower, and then we're going to get another system early next week that will set in Monday night into Tuesday. So our weather is going to be very unsettled, very typical for early spring. As far as potential snowfall amounts, right now models are a bit all over the place. This is a GFS model. Tends to blow up precip a little bit, but I think this one is pretty close. Portions of Bear River, we're talking out to the highest amount, so all along the Wasatch, picking up a potential 1 to 3. Could get a little bit more Saturday night into Sunday. I did see one model that favored higher elevations across the Wasatch, anywhere from about 6 to 12. That's a little bit dramatic, I think, but it definitely could happen depending on where that system fully wants to set in. As far as state snowpack, we did decrease from a couple of days ago. I turned all of the blue areas, which were well above where we should be, back down to green. Still doing well for northern and central, but yes, southern definitely do need more of that snowpack. Temperatures are going to be in the low to mid 70s over the next couple of days across southern Utah, dipping down a little bit. And then for northern Utah, we are going to dip down to below average for our Saturday, Sunday, little rebound for your Monday, and then that second system is going to be bringing in another round of some rain snow showers back down to the upper 40s, low 50s.
Thanks so much, Maddie. Well, it was a disappointing night for BYU fans. I don't want to say too much before Morgan gives you the details, but the men's basketball team played Alabama. People we spoke with at a watch party at the Marriott Center in Provo were proud of the team for making it so far.
I thought the game was going to be at least closer.
We did really good, except Alabama hardly beat us. We started bad.
If we're going to lose, at least we lose to a historic shooting night, right?
Great season. Nonetheless, Sweet 16, can't complain. Great season.
Props to Alabama. I'm excited for all the guys coming in next year. Team's going to be crazy.
Yeah, we'll be back next year. We'll be back next year for sure.
Great season, Cougars, Sweet 16. Can't complain. That's amazing. Go Cougs!
It's okay, BYU.
Was I detecting something like an Alabama accent from one of those guys? Anyway, we also asked fans about their March Madness brackets. Most were busted. One person made what you could say is a reasonable decision, but maybe not reasonable to admit in that crowd. They picked Alabama.
Yeah, Cougs fans always show up. 81 in 2011. That was it for BYU's history at the Sweet 16. At least before tonight, anyway. The Cougars knocking off ECU and Wisconsin to get here, riding a late season stretch of 11 wins and 12 tries since the 11th of February, where the Cougars got to face one of the better teams out of the SEC Thursday in Newark, New Jersey. Close your eyes if you didn't see it. 113-88. The final, which is a titch deceiving. BYU actually was not terrible in this game, though Bama, really one player in particular, was out of his mind. Mark Sears, 10 of 16 from 3 tonight. The Cougars as a team only hit 6. The Crimson Tide's 25 money balls shattered an NCAA tournament record.
Just extremely proud of our guys. You know, I just told them in the locker room, which is something we hadn't talked about literally all year until just now. I mean, this is a team that was picked 9th in the Big 12. And we're one of the last 16 teams standing. So incredibly proud of these guys. These 4 seniors led us. Each one has a remarkable story in their own right. And just really happy that I got a chance to coach not only these 4, but this entire team.
For those hoping to see Jordan Clarkson in a Jazz note at least one more time this campaign will be disappointed. Clarkson underwent a procedure to address an injury in his left foot, ruling him out for the season. He is signed with the Jazz through 2026, but only played in 37 games throughout 24-25. Meanwhile, only 3 home games left for Utah, including tonight against the Rockets, who led by a baker's dozen in the second. Jock Landale with the second effort, but credit Will Hardy's guys, a run here before the half To cut it to 2, Bryce Sensabaugh with 17 off the bench, including dialing up on all 5 shots from downtown. Then the rookie, Isaiah Collier, with 2 ticks left. But Houston, we got a problem. Quickly back up. Double digits in the third quarter. Alperen Sengun just having his way. 33 points and 10 boards. Ahmed Thompson adding 15. 121-110. The Rockets are the 2 seed out west right now, so good team. Last weekend, the hockey club lit up the net with 6 goals against the Lightning at home, but that was followed up on Monday by a 1-goal downer against Detroit. Utah still fighting for their playoff lives, facing Tampa Bay once again, this time in the Sun Belt, where it was a far cry from their last meeting, at least for Utah. Already down 1, make it 2. Victor Hedman, time to regroup, entering period 2. Only problem was the hockey club was even worse. Heck of a slide. Emma Lilberg actually deflected in by Gage Gonsalves. Karel Vejmelka gave up the first 4, Jackson Stauber the next 4, second one by Jake Gensel there. Utah just as bad offensively as they were defensively. Nick Schmaltz off the post during a power play. The Lightning just piling on the goals. Oliver Bjorkstrand. It was 8-0 by the final horn. Call it the worst loss in franchise history since the move to the mountains. 1 week from tonight, Utah Gymnastics will host 7 others at regionals. The Red Rocks, a clear favorite to be one of those 8 to advance on to nationals. After that, a place Utah has been all 48 times in the past, though they haven't won it all since '95. Something head coach Carly Dockendorf would like to see change and thinks can.
You know, when we get there and we watch the other teams compete, we're just as good technically as they are, but a lot of those teams just believe that they're really great, and we've just believed that we're good. Miley talked about it a little bit at our team retreat this year to the team and just how she felt that, you know, there could have been a couple women on the team that believed that they were good enough to win a national title, but collectively as a whole team, you know, the mind is such a powerful thing, and if we don't talk about it, then I don't know if it would happen.
BYU baseball and softball both hosting ranked opponents tonight. Start with baseball, who used a 6-run fifth to pull out in front of number 23 West Virginia. Lone Peak product Crew McChesney unloading the base path with a 3-run double. Blew up by 10 in the ninth. 9th-ranked Arizona in Provo on the small diamond. The Lady Wildcats up 6-0, make that 8. Devin Netz with a no-doubter to left. Netz in the circle as well, where she completes a perfect game after Kiki Escobar's throw barely beats Kayla Kamoku. Blue will have 2 more shots tomorrow and Saturday. And the NWSL is back on Ion, of which you can catch locally on Utah 16. Saturday, the Kansas City Current takes on Ally Centenor and the Utah Royals. Then the Portland Thorns face the North Carolina Courage. Coverage begins at 5. For more info on how to watch Utah 16 on air or online, just go to utah16.com. We'll be right back.
Finally, listen to this. The University of Maryland students has announced Kermit the Frog will be delivering a commencement speech to graduates this May.
Kermit has a long history with the school. Muppets creator Jim Henson graduated from the university in 1960. Morgan, you have a great Kermit. You want to read the rest? No? Okay.
The campus
garden even has a bronze statue of Kermit and Henson.
Oh, that was amazing! Maddie, wasn't that great?
Guys, we have such talent here. Very impressive.
Do I stop now?
Thank you. We should have stopped a long time ago. Thanks for watching. Quick Guess is next.